Hello everyone, my name is Kieran and welcome to a new year, 2022. Hopefully you had a very good new year. Manchester United are obviously looking to start the new year well with a win over Wolves, who haven't been too bad recently and have always proven a tough test for Manchester. It probably will be again. That's my early prediction. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for United. I think we expect to win. Obviously, as fans, we expect the team to put in a good performance, but I don't think it's going to be easy whatsoever. Before we get into any of that, as always, please do hit that like button if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Hoping for a big year for the channel in 2022. So anything you guys can do to help us out with that would be absolutely fantastic. And also, if you want to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, if you're not watching live and can't or don't have the privilege of putting anything in the live chat, then please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I do read all of your comments, so if you do want to leave any opinions, any questions, anything at all, please do hit me up in the comment section down below, and I'm sure we'll have a good conversation there. But we'll get straight into it. I see Adam's joined us. Adam, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I am alive. I'm fine. Alive and well. Alive and well, Adam. Alive and well. But thanks for tuning in, mate. Appreciate it as always. Good to hear from you. Yeah, a little bit later than usual. But you know what? It doesn't matter what time, what place. You're always welcome here on Red Devil Weekly. Hang on. Owen had this background on Rich's stream the other day. Yeah, we are both home. Don't worry, we are both home. That is no coincidence. He didn't use any sort of. It would have to be very good green screen actually, but he didn't use any sort of green screen technology. This is definitely a real background. Don't worry about that. This is definitely hard hard concrete behind me. So yeah, we are both home at the moment. I'm not sure for how much longer actually, I don't know, but we will be home for the foreseeable future, I think they call it. But let's get into the preview. And we're going to talk a little bit about Wolves and really talk about how we played them in our last game we took on Wolves, and that was obviously in September, I believe, the start of the season, where we just about nicked a 1-0 victory at Molineux thanks to a goal from Mason Greenwood, a deflected goal. The keeper got a hand to it, went under the keeper, but Mason Greenwood nonetheless providing the big goal really in that game, and in a win that it'd be difficult to say United fully deserved. I have to say, I think Wolves were a massive handful in that game. They created so many opportunities. David De Gea was on supreme form, similar form to what we're seeing from David De Gea right now. He's making some brilliant saves, especially one from Roman Saiss, I think, from a corner. He made an unbelievable double save in that game. I'm not sure if you guys remember it. But yeah, De Gea was on form. He really kept the score at 1-0. And then obviously Greenwood, the individual bit of brilliance that we were accustomed to seeing under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, brought us all 3 points, and it was a big 3 points at the time. So that's the main thing I want to talk about with Wolves, is how many chances they create and how much of a problem they're going to be for us tomorrow. And I believe they're going to be a huge problem for us tomorrow. They currently sit 9th in the Premier League table on 25 points. About 6 points behind us as it stands. I think we're on 31 points, if I'm not mistaken. And we're in 7th place as well, just in case you didn't know, but I'm sure you've already had a little bit of a glance at the table. So yeah, Wolves are 6 points behind us, but they are 2 places behind us as well. We played the same amount of games, both 18 games apiece. So they will also have 2 games in hand over Arsenal. So if they were to win their 2 games, and we were to obviously lose our 2 games in hand, obviously they'd be able to go ahead of us and potentially be level on points with Arsenal as well. So actually probably not, but they're still potentially in the top 4 race if they do put on some sort of miracle run of fixtures together, maybe 3 or 4 wins in a row. They could be right back up there with the rest of us, but I don't see that happening soon really. But you know, you never know in the Premier League. Wolves' latest fixtures, they come into this game off the back of, well, a 0-0 draw with Chelsea. It was the last game they actually played. I think they've had some games postponed, actually. But they beat Brighton. They only lost 1-0 to Man City, only lost 1-0 to Liverpool, drew 0-0 with Burnley, so have recently struggled to find their feet in front of goal, really. Only the 2 goals in their last 4 Premier League matches. In fact, if you stretch back and look at the last 6 Premier League games they played, they've only actually scored 4 goals in their last 6, which includes 3 0-0 draws. So they've really been struggling to score. They have been struggling to score. I do think they're a team that create a lot of chances, and that's one of the main reasons why I think they will be a handful for us, especially with Adama Traore. He is someone who causes a lot of problems for every single defence in the league. Doesn't matter whether you're Man City or Norwich. It doesn't matter. He will carve your defence open at some point in the game because his pace is just too difficult to live with, almost impossible to live with. So if he had end product, and if he has a game where he does have end product, which does sometimes happen, yes, I know it's been very seldom, to be fair, with the Adama Traore, has found it difficult in front of goal. If he does have a game where he does find his end product, or someone like Jimenez finds the goal and finds his feet, it could be a very, very difficult one for us to deal with because they do create quite a lot of chances. But if they do follow the trend of their last 6 games, as I said, only scoring 3 goals in their last 6 with 3 0-0 draws, we should have enough chances to put them away as long as we're also defensively sound, and we'll get into that in a bit as well, which I'm sure will bring up a lot of talking points. But yeah, cheers Dazza for joining, cheers to Adam for joining as well, and also cheers RJ, thanks for joining. Hope you had a good New Year, RJ. Hope, make sure to check out Robotic Jaguar as well, great stuff over there. And also just check out his channel. But yeah, Adam says Traore could be one of the best players in the world. I totally agree. By the way, the channel I was trying to remember when I forgot was Let's Talk Premier League as well. So I didn't forget it. I wasn't doing that on purpose. Let's Talk Premier League. Kobe joined as well. Thanks for joining, Kobe. Appreciate it. Long time, my friend. Don't worry about it. You're never late. You're never late on Red. It's good to see you, Kobe. Hopefully you're doing well for yourself, mate. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully life's going well. Hopefully it's going. Everyone's healthy in the chat. And if you're watching the live, if you're watching after the stream on a video, hopefully you're well as well. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below if that is the case. But obviously the Man United squad's come out as well, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. A few notable absentees, as I see a few of you are already alluding to in the live chat. Dazza says, the one team I'd be playing against. Yeah, Wolves are that sort of team which always cause problems and are always just a tricky customer. Doesn't matter whether you're playing them at Molineux, whether you're playing them at Old Trafford, they always seem to cause us problems. And it's a frustrating watch, I'm not going to lie. I think under Bruno Lage, they're a little bit of a different team to what we saw under Nuno, but they have a very similar skeleton. The players are pretty well the same, so it's not that much different, but they're a little bit of a different proposition. I think they're a little bit more aggressive, a little bit better going forward, I would say. A little bit more forward thinking. So excuse me. That obviously provides for a better spectacle in terms if you're a neutral. But, in terms of, the way they naturally play as a group of players, I think they're a lot more suited to the way Nuno wanted them to play and how they got success, how Nuno got a tune out of them. Luca, thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking. Appreciate it. I had a good New Year, had a good Christmas with the families, and hopefully, you guys had a similar experience. But yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Really appreciate it. Happy Easter. A bit premature, but I understand what you're saying there. I understand the reference. Don't worry. Brilliant reference there. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Wolves is not the only club that has been hit by COVID cases. I think a lot of people or a lot of clubs have been hit by COVID cases and players having to self-isolate. I think one of the biggest ones for Wolves is actually Trincao, and I'm not sure if that's a COVID case or if that is just an injury. I'll check, but it's a big one. It's a big one because wrong one because Wolves obviously they need their full strength squad. There's no doubt about it. Obviously they've done pretty well so far, especially when you consider the few players that they didn't have from the start of the season. Obviously Jimenez with the injury, they didn't have his exploits at the start of the season, and he was a massive player for them the season just gone. So I think that's the biggest thing. I think they do need to have a full strength squad, especially when they're trying to play these tricky Christmas fixtures. Obviously they've had a few called off, and they haven't played in a while. So actually they've had a decent amount of rest, but we showed against Newcastle the rest doesn't necessarily mean you're going to turn up and play really fresh and play this amazing football, because we didn't. We looked pretty lackluster, we looked pretty lackadaisical against Newcastle, and they took full advantage and really should have won the game if we're being honest with ourselves. So just because Wolves have had a little bit more rest than us going into this game doesn't mean anything in my books. Really, I expect us to be starting the better. I really, really do, especially after our win against Burnley. We should be absolutely bouncing. We should be absolutely just bubbling to get out there and win again and start the new year off right. Good to hear, Luca. Good to hear, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Obviously, he's doing good. He's doing good. Good to hear, my friend. Kobe says this will definitely be a hard game, especially with how good they are defensively. Yeah, notoriously. As we talked about, Wolves have only conceded, I think, 3 goals. Maybe only 2 goals, actually, in their last 6. They've actually had 3 0-0s in that time, which, whilst they aren't the best results, really, they aren't the prettiest of results, clean sheets, 3 clean sheets. So, really from a Wolves point of view, you can't argue too much with how well your side is defended. And we, as United fans, will notoriously struggle when a team defends well as a unit. So that is one thing that I'm a little bit worried about, of course. But the way we played against Burnley, which again is a team that notoriously defends very well. Obviously, they had a few players out with COVID as well, and they haven't been playing well this season, so you can kind of, maybe count that as a bit of an outlier. But we do usually struggle against these sort of teams. Hopefully, the Burnley game's a little bit of an omen to say that we're not going to do that. I realised as well there's a little bit of dust on the lens, so I'm just going to try and clean that. I don't think that's done anything at all, but I thought there was a little bit of dust on there. Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just the way the camera is. Daz says he's out of isolation if my lateral flow is negative tomorrow. Yeah, fingers crossed for you, Daz. Fingers crossed. Hopefully you're back on form, back being able to go out into the real world again. But yeah, Wolves are going to be a difficult proposition. I always fear Adama Traore. He's the guy I always fear, really, when I look at Wolves. Yes, his end product is really poor. I think he hasn't scored a goal this season. I think he's only got 1 or 2 goals in his last kind of 70, 80 games. It's a pretty poor record for someone who terrorises defences with his pace. But I just think the end product's been lacking from him. And maybe he would argue that the end product's been lacking from the people he's been serving with his passes. I don't know. Obviously, he'll have a different perspective, but yeah, his end product in terms of stats, stats don't tell lies, and the numbers don't lie, as they say. So, if he does click, it will be a long day for us, because I can't see any of our fullbacks at the moment showing any match or being any match for him in terms of pace. I really can't. So that's the biggest worry for me. Apart from that, I don't really think there's too much to worry about. Yes, obviously, Raul Jimenez, he's a very good striker, but he's just not the same at the moment, and he hasn't really been the same, unfortunately for him, since the head injury that he suffered. And obviously, as a football fan, you want to see him back to his best, but he just hasn't really been at those levels. Of course, Trincao as well, he was someone who causes a lot of problems. He won't be playing in the game, so for us to, put together a very good performance and a solid win to start the year. That's what you want. You want to start the year off as you mean to go on, and hopefully this is a very prosperous year for Manchester United. Whilst I don't think we're going to win too much, obviously we're still in the FA Cup and the Champions League, I don't really think we're going to win too much this year, but what we can do is set a basis for the next summer, where we're hopefully going to be looking at challenging for the Premier League title. So this year's a big one, especially with Rangnick in charge, the new manager that's going to come in after Rangnick in the summer. It's a big year for Manchester United, so you want to start it off right, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the best game to do it. But as I said, to be honest with you, this won't be that long of a stream. I don't plan on doing this stream for that long. Obviously, as I said, I started an hour earlier than I usually do. Actually, about an hour and 15 minutes earlier than I usually do. So it probably won't be as long. So we'll get on to the Manchester United side of things as well. And just talk a little bit about the squad, because there has been a few notable absentees, as you guys have been pointing out in the live chat. I did say that already. It's not deja vu. I did actually say that already. But one of the biggest absentees, it looks like, is Harry Maguire not in the squad, which is an interesting one. Obviously club captain. I think a lot of people, thought that Rangnick was showing his loyalty to Harry Maguire after leaving Varane on the bench, especially after Maguire's latest performances. But to be honest, if this is not an injury, and I hope it's not an injury, I hope it is just a tactical decision from Rangnick, then I think it's the best thing. Maguire has been in the firing line for far too long, and I think he's been taking haymakers from the fans, from the journalists. He has been getting a lot of heat recently, so I think the best thing to do is to take him out of the fire. Yes, I can even agree that he's not been playing well. I don't know what's happened. He just looks shattered. Like, I was watching that Burnley game and he just looked absolutely shattered. Mentally, and I think Rangnick, if this isn't an injury, I think he's doing the right thing out the firing line, because the captaincy, everyone is against you, kind of criticise. And as I said, I think he's not devoid of criticism. I do agree that his performances have been poor, but I think it's difficult seeing people are throwing this abuse your way. It's difficult to deal with, so I think it's the best thing to do to kind of take him out of the firing line, give him hopefully a few games off really, and we can bring in Varane and and then obviously Bailly's injured, so it'll be interesting to see what Rangnick does about that. We may Phil Jones play next to him as centre back, because in terms of the confirmed squad, yes, obviously there'll still be names that won't be on, maybe haven't travelled to the Lowry, but the only two centre backs I can see in that group is Varane and Phil Jones, out and out centre backs, that is. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what he does if Phil Jones is indeed the only other recognised centre-back next to Raphael Varane in the squad. Will we see Jones? That'll be a turn-off for the books. Luka goes for the 2-0 win to Manchester United. I would take that all day long, Luka. I hope you're right. I hope you were a clairvoyant back in the day, maybe. Hopefully 2-0 comes through. A clean sheet, 2-0 win would be a brilliant start to the year. Hopefully we see Van der Beek, says Adam. I mean, I hope so. Obviously Fernandes as well. He's another one who, he is in the squad, but he's another one who, performances recently haven't been brilliant, and I think Rangnick just took him out of the firing line against Burnley. And we did play well. Obviously McTominay could have had a hat-trick, and if he did, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't stop mentioning it. But McTominay could have had a hat-trick, and I felt like he did play well, and he probably deserved his man of the match. But it's going to be interesting to see what Rangnick chooses. I think we'll see an interesting lineup on Monday night. I keep forgetting it's Monday. I've got no idea what day it is. I keep forgetting it's Monday, actually. So, yeah, I think we'll see a little bit of a different lineup. But yeah, in terms of centre-back, I think we could see, there is a chance we see Phil Jones return to the lineup, which, maybe excites you, maybe frightens you. Let me know. Let me know what you think. And yeah, in terms of what you said, Adam, about Van der Beek, I hope we do see Van der Beek again. I would love to see Van der Beek in the midfield because, let's face it, we know how good Van der Beek can be. I'm not sure he's really put in any stellar performances or, that many really in a Manchester United shirt. Excuse me, I don't think he's really taken that many opportunities by the scruff of the neck, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I just think that I would love him to get an opportunity and really use that opportunity to show what he can do and put on a performance which gives Rangnick no choice but to start him in the next game. So I hope he gets the opportunity tomorrow, and I hope he can do that because I do believe we are better with him in the team than without him. But we'll see what Rangnick does. Rich has joined us. Thanks for joining, Rich. Appreciate it. Make sure you do check out Rich's preview for this game. I really did enjoy tuning into that, so make sure you do check it out on Rich's channel if you haven't already. And he also says Matic is centre back. It's a shout. It's definitely a shout. We've seen it before, obviously. I'm not sure we've seen it under Rangnick just yet, but obviously Ollie, has obviously had contact with Rangnick. Maybe that's one of the things he said. Maybe that's one of the things he's recommended. Kobe says, do you think Rashford will start? On recent performances, I don't think he deserves to start. And if I was Manchester United manager, I probably wouldn't start him. I'd look to start Greenwood and Sancho on the wings. But again, I don't know. He could easily start. He could easily start because, Rangnick seems to have taken a shine to Rashford. And we've seen, again, Rashford's a frustrating player at times because we've seen how well Rashford can play, especially around this point last season. He was tearing it up. He was the main reason we were winning games at this point last season or getting points from games. So, in fact, I think he actually scored the winning goal in this fixture last season, around this time last season as well. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened to Rashford. He's such an up and down player, and I was hoping by this time, by 24 years old, he would have a little bit more consistency to his game. But on recent performances, I probably wouldn't start him, Kobe, to be honest with you. In terms of if I think he will start, as I said, I don't know what Rangnick's going to do. He has started him in, I think, pretty well every single game that he's managed, apart from Crystal Palace. So on that basis, I think he might well give him another chance. But I would like to see Greenwood and Sancho start, to be honest. I don't think Rashford has earned a start on his recent performances. But who knows? I'm afraid I can't read out your name, I don't think. Lynn CMRMHEWEJAEJD. I don't know if that's it looks very much like a bot, so I mean if you are a bot then obviously there's no point me talking to you, but if you're not a bot, thanks for joining anyway. He looks very much like a bot, probably is. I have no idea where that bot's come from. Anyway, we'll move on from that and just go straight into the score predictions because, as I said, it's not going to be a hugely long stream. So we're just going to get straight into the score predictions. So if you're watching right now, let me know your thoughts in the live chat. What is your score prediction going into this game against Wolves? The first game of 2022. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know. And also, if you're watching on a video, please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I really do enjoy reading your thoughts in the comment section. Even if you're watching on a video and you didn't make the live, it's always good to talk to you. So please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Cheers, Mark Goldridge. Cheers for joining. Cheers. He says 2-0. No, 2-1 or 2-0. Well, thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Anyway, hope you're doing well. But I mean, you know what? I would take any of those. I would take any of those scores. To be fair, as long as we get 3 points on the board, especially in this top 4 race, we need to take advantage of the fact that Arsenal. You can't really say drop 3 points, although they were in the lead, so in some ways you can say that. But the fact they were playing Man City, I didn't really expect them to win anyway. So, we have to take advantage of the fact we've got 2 games in hand over Arsenal, and we're only 4 points behind them. So we have to take advantage of that. And yeah, hopefully we do that tomorrow. It's a big hope, but hopefully we do. And any sort of win will do, really. But I want to see a good performance. I don't think we've seen a complete, domination performance by Manchester United. I can't remember the last time we've really seen that. So maybe it would have been Newcastle, the 4-1, and even in that game, Newcastle had a few chances. So maybe you'd have to go all the way to the start of the season against Leeds United, which isn't a bad team to have that performance against, but we want to see more consistent, dominating performances. So, yeah, for me, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a 1-0. I said on Rich's chat, I think it's gonna be a very tight game. I think it's going to be close. I think Wolves are going to cause us problems. We've talked about the fact that defensively they have been very, very sound, only conceding 2 goals in their last 6 games. They've been very, very. It's not going to be easy for us to break them down. We notoriously find it difficult to break teams who defend well as a unit down. So yeah, I'm going to go with 1-0. I think we'll just about sneak past them. I think it'll be a Jadon Sancho goal as well. Hopefully he gets on the score sheet. I'm going to give him the goal as well from the game against Burnley. Yes, it's probably an own goal, but in my mind, he gets the goal. So there you go, Jadon. I hope you're watching. I'm sure he is watching. They all watch Red Devil Weekly in the Lowry before the game. So yeah, I think Jadon Sancho gets on the score sheet. 1-0 United. Start the year with the win and a clean sheet. And hopefully, I want to see better than that, obviously. That's just my prediction. I want to see better than that, but I would take that. I would take the 3 points at this point. JJ, thanks for joining, JJ. Appreciate it. He says, I'd say we need to take points because Spurs and Arsenal are on our tail. Well, we're on their tail, really. But I see what you mean, JJ. I see what you mean. We need to capitalise, really, on Arsenal's defeat against Man City yesterday, and also Spurs seem to be just about getting away with it at the moment. Obviously, they need a 96-minute winner to beat Watford. Better than what we did at Watford, to be fair, but we won't talk about that too much. But yeah, a big goal by Davinson Sanchez to keep them really in that top 4 race. So drop points on them, and we capitalise on Arsenal losing. So and really, with the position we're in, the position of chasing, every game becomes a big game. So yeah, that's why we need points, and that's why I'm saying 3 points really in this context is all that matters. But in the end of the day, I want to see a good performance. Obviously, I want to see a quality performance from start to finish where we thoroughly deserve all 3 points, and I hope we see that. So that's my score prediction. Rich is going with 2-1 to Manchester United. As I said, that would be I'd take that all day long. I'd take that absolutely all day long. 3 points is all that matters. I think you're probably much more. I think you're probably on the much more realistic side with that prediction, Rich, to be honest, especially with the goal conceded. I mean, I can't remember the last time we kept a clean sheet. I think it was Norwich, actually, so it wasn't too far away, but I think that was the first clean sheet we kept in like 20-odd games. So clean sheets are few and far between for us, so I just went with the clean sheet in hope, really. I know that we do struggle to keep clean sheets, and Wolves have got a few decent attacking players as well, so in some ways that's probably the more... I keep forgetting the word. More likely prediction. But I'm hoping we can get a clean sheet and 3 points to start 2022 off right. And Kobe goes with 1-0 as well. Great minds think alike, of course, Kobe. I said I'll take that. I'll take any win at this point. But listen, I'm going to end it there. We are coming up to the half an hour point. I did say it was going to be a bit of a shorter stream, especially since we started a bit earlier, but hopefully you did enjoy it. As I said, I'm trying to get more consistent as we begin 2022. As we get deeper into the year, hopefully the content will continue to come. But until the next time we meet, thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. And as I said before, if you're watching this on the replay, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, your score predictions, your predictions in general for the game, and just anything at all you want to talk about, leave it in the comment section down below. But thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. As I said, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you are new and did enjoy the video. But until then, my name is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.